Okay, give me a second. We're going to get everything kicked off here. We got a lot of note takers in this meeting. That's cool. Um, all right. Welcome. All right, let's get that. We got that. All right, let's do it. All right, welcome everybody to this week's edition of the Business Doctor Show. John Pyron here, the Business Doctor, and Choya, my counterpart, my co-host, founder of Incredible Towns, Incredible Business Networking, Incredible Visibility, is traveling today. So this is, I guess him and his spouse has a special occasion. So he said, "Hey, I'm not going to be there." I'm like, "That's fine, man. That means I get more room to talk, you know." And so it's all fun. So I'm glad everybody's here. Hopefully you had a great weekend. And we're ready to rock and roll here today. And so one of the things that has been on my mind is systems and processes and routines. And so just got off the phone prior to this with my original mentor, Mr. David Vanny, who is joining my team. I've known Dave. I met Dave like right before my 21st birthday. Now, does it mean anything to a lot of you? Because a lot of you are listening to the recording on the podcast channel or watching it on Zoom, but I'm 56 years old. So gives you an idea how long I've known the dude. So if you ever get a chance to meet him, you can ask him whatever question about tell me what John was really like. Okay. And so we'll see how much confidentiality he's willing to hold back on that one. So 11 companies. We're just having that thing on memory lane and six companies, $3 million companies under that guy's mentorship. And I can't tell you how valuable that was because I would not be who I am today had it not been for that. Now here's where it comes back to you. You need to find someone that can get under your skin and not co-sign your BS, okay, for the lack of a better analogy, but someone who you have respect for, not necessarily influence over. And that was Dave for me. There were times I wanted to jump through the phone and rip his head off, okay, because he would not let me get away with arguing for my limitations. He would not let me get away with my excuses. I didn't feel like it. The cat had diarrhea. Even at one point, it's like, hey, for those of you that one of the businesses I was building, I was working for someone full time and I was building a business at the same time. And I remember calling him up one day and we just talked about this. And I said, listen, I am so sick of this job. I cannot take another word coming out of that woman's mouth. Otherwise, I'm going to literally jump across the table, dude, and I'll probably end up in jail. Okay. And I said, I'm done. Like, I'm going to quit here and I'm going to go start my own business. And he goes, well, you're already building this business over here. And I said, I don't care. I can't stay here. And he goes, hold on, just time out. So you think the solution is going to be jumping ship because it's tough? Because, you know, she gets under your skin? Because you can't stand her no more? I'm like, well, yeah. He goes, and what do you think that's going to happen to your other business when you do that? Do you think the other business is going to get easier? No, here's what's going to happen. You're going to quit there because your business that you're trying to build cannot sustain you. You're going to go get another job working for somebody else. You're going to go through the whole 90-day courting period where you have to learn a new job and all this other stuff. Meanwhile, your business over here, this is your dream. You're not going to spend the effort over here because you got this new job. Okay. And all you're going to do is get distracted. Here's what you need to do. You need to use the energy that you have, the uncomfortable energy, the hours that you're having to work, the nights, the weekends. You need to use that energy as a reason to be even more successful at your business. Because all you're going to do, John, I swear to God, all you're going to do, I remember I was sitting in the parking lot in front of J4 Systems, just pissed. And I was looking for any excuse I could to have him validate me doing what I wanted to do. But here's a good part of being a good mentor. And this is for you as well, because all your employees, all your vendors, all your clients, you're a potential mentor to them. Okay. And he cared enough about me, cared enough about my dream, cared enough about my goal to literally tell me the truth and not buy off on my BS. And he said, I get it, man. You want the easy route. But I'm going to tell you right now, stay there and use that energy to get even sharper to make the time. So instead of you messing around, okay, now all of a sudden your 1 hour that you're making calls becomes very important because you desperately want to get out of there. Okay. And if you don't have a dream, a goal, a desire in your business that's pulling you to do all the stuff that you really don't want to do, and you're just kind of coasting, everything's great. I had a stressful week. Oh my God, I worked 50 hours. If that's, you, okay, then understand you probably don't have a fire under your belly right now. And I'm preaching to myself just as much as I'm preaching to anybody listening to this call. Your goal and your dream need to pull you into the future to where you're willing to do what it takes to get there. It's never about making it easier. Okay. Beth and I just had this conversation this morning. We do a management call every week. Beth is the manager of my company right now. Okay. She owns a company called Biluxa Personal Assistant. She is not my employee. Okay. But I hired her in her company because of her military background, her ability to she sounds and talks very nice and is very nice you'll say, oh, she's such a nice gal, and you'll confuse that in weakness. But then all of a sudden her military E6 sergeant mentality comes to the table and you're going to get held accountable. And so the key is automate, delegate, and outsource your weakness. So her and I were having this conversation. I'm like, listen, for the next 4 weeks leading up to my next 2-week unplug, because in order for a business to run without you, fast forward to all of you that are not there yet, or some of you that are, or some of you have been through this, you already know where I'm going with this. I have to disappear for 2 weeks and I got to fight every single emotion to check into the company while I'm gone. Otherwise, I will never know what's broken and what depends on me. And so my team, who Jean's here, is Shira here? Yeah, she's here. Beth is here. That's my team, man. Beth is the leader, and Shira and Jean are full-time 40-hour weeks, 40-hour week people with me. And John has to get out of the way. So Beth already knows for the next 4 weeks, I'm going to do a bunch of stuff I absolutely hate. Don't want to do it. I already let the wife know. Going to be 10, 15 hours a day, maybe 5, 6 days a week. But it's a short window of 4 weeks of just laser focus, doing half the crap I don't want to do to get me out of the way. And I got to trust this team. Okay. So if you're sitting back and you have been stuck, here's the point of the story. We're going into the last week of June. Okay. And this call is either going to bless a bunch of you or it's going to piss a bunch of you off. And I'm fine either way. Okay. But January 1 through June 30th, okay, we're halfway through the year. We're another quarter getting ready to end. All the stuff that you told yourself you were going to do this year, this is the time of the year to measure this. Okay. So I'm going to test you on this real quick, and you don't have to answer. Okay. But this is going to be one of the most valuable calls you've attended this year. I promise you that. I want to go back, have you go back and listen to this one thing I'm about to share. And so, Gene, I am going to encourage you, because you've got either Shira or you have the Fathom thing. I want you to highlight this section, because this is going to be that video that you send out on all the social networks. See, here's the power. Do a call every week. Teach whatever it is you teach. Whatever somebody pays you a lot of money for, teach it, give it away for free. You're going to learn more about it. And so here's the deal. All right, Gene, here's the part where you're going to say, okay, how do we know if we're having a good year so far? Okay. Comes down to this. We're going to play a game real quick called the what level exercise. And here's the deal with the what level exercise. If I'm in front of a room and I'm teaching some business owners, okay, and I really want to move people to action, I'm going to run this exercise every time. And so right now it is on the East Coast. It is morning time. Okay. So what I want everybody to do, okay, is you can unmute yourself for this one piece. Okay. Everybody can talk at once, by the way. Okay. We're going to do this live. Okay. I'm going to say good morning, and I want you to say good morning back to me. And we're going to call that a level 6 on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most energy possible that you can even come up with. 1 being you're sitting on a couch eating bonbons half dead. Okay. We're going to call this level 6 in terms of energy and enthusiasm. Is everybody clear? Okay. Let's try it out. Unmute yourself, Gene, Catherine, Rita, Michael. Okay. Unmute yourself. Okay. Shira. Okay. Get ready. Get ready. You guys ready? Good morning.
Good
Good morning.
Awesome. Give yourselves a round of applause. You guys are the best group I've had all day. Okay. The only group I've had. Okay. All right. Next, we're going to up the game, and we're going to play at a level 8. Okay. A little bit more energy, a little bit more enthusiasm. And if you want to smile this time, you have my permission to do so. Okay. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay. Carla, you need to unmute yourself. Gene, Catherine, unmute yourself. Okay. So, you ready? All right. Good morning.
Good
morning.
Woo-hoo. All right. Now, last level. Okay. Level 10. When I think of a level 10, okay, I'm going to get up. If I was in an audience, I'm a high five. I mean, I'm going crazy here. Okay. And if you don't believe me, on your screen, if you got everybody in gallery mode, look to the person to your left and right, and how you perform at this next step will determine their future. Okay. No pressure. Okay. You ready? You ready? Everybody ready? You got unmuted? Good morning.
Good morning. Yay.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and mute yourself. And here's the next thing. Okay. First, we played at a 6, and then we played at a 10. Let me get my video set up. It's not focused. There we go. First a 6, and then a 10. Here's the question I have for you. It is June 22nd. Over the last 5 months and 3 weeks, what level have you been playing at in your business? You don't have to answer. This is an answer you ask yourself. Okay. See, some of you are like me. You play at a high level. As long as you can get yourself to play at a level 7 and above consistent, because you can't play at a level 10 consistently. 8's a pushing it. 9's pushing it. Okay. I mean, you really have to be obsessed to play at an 8 or 9 consistently, because the key is consistency. Okay. It's not 1 week I'm playing it at a 10, the next week I'm playing it at a 2, the next week I'm playing it at a 5, like a lot of us do naturally as human beings. Okay. But over the last 5 weeks, 5 months, and 3 weeks, be honest with yourself. What level have you been playing at? Okay. Now, like I said, some of you are like me, you play at a high level. Some of you, this is a wake-up call. Okay. Now, let me ask the question a different way for those of you that are like me. Okay. You play at a high level consistently. Okay. Let me ask the question a different way. Over the last 5 months and 3 weeks, as you've been showing up in the relationships that are the most important to you, your spouse or significant other, or your kids if you have them, be honest with yourself. What level have you been playing at? Oh, some of us, it's like, oh, ew, you got me there. Okay, now, for those of you that are remaining, over the last 5 months, 3 weeks, in areas of health and fitness, what level have you been playing at? In your spiritual life, what level have you been playing at? Okay. In your finances, what level have you been playing at? In your dreams and goals, what level have you been playing at? See, who determines, and put this in the chat window, who determines what level you play at? You do, right? Okay. So in order for you to play at a higher level, you got to get yourself to do two things. Number one, you have to expand your comfort zone. Okay. I'm not saying get outside of your comfort zone. That's a bunch of BS because, quite frankly, if you were playing in your comfort zone, you wouldn't even be here. And you sure as heck wouldn't be listening to this podcast. Okay. You'd be off eating bonbons somewhere or doing something to make that was, that just coasts. Okay. You're already outside of your comfort zone just by being here. So first thing is expand your comfort zone. Number two, take some new action. Okay. And I'm going to hit you right where it hurts right now. If you don't have somebody that you're accountable to in the area you're trying to grow in, that is the action you take at this point. Doesn't have to be me. Okay. Can be anybody. I'm not just talking about business. Okay. I have somebody that holds my butt accountable in business, somebody that holds my butt accountable spiritually. Okay. And as a husband and as a father, and they have my permission to crawl all up my butt if I'm not doing my job there. Okay. The one missing component that I was convicted on in my own deal right now is I have been playing at a level 2 all year long when it comes to my health and fitness. Just being transparent. I've been donating to a gym every single month. Okay. I know because they just hit my credit card the other day for the monthly fee to the gym that I never go to. Okay. Because I'm donating to them. Okay. I'm not taking advantage of it. And probably because it's only $24 a month to go to donate. It's not enough paying. I spent more than that on Starbucks run about an hour ago. Okay. Now, what's going to change, if you don't know him, Mike Dedoes, okay, Dedoes in the Knoxville region, is becoming a client of mine. Did a strategy session with him. He is a Spartan trainer, a High Rocks trainer. Like he's a stud. Okay, won lots and lots of championships. Okay, and all that's going to happen is I'm doing a strategy session with him, finishing it up. I'm going to hire his butt under the new rate that I'm setting up for him because he was charging way too low. And all I'm doing is I'm positioning him to be a very specific type of trainer to a specific type of clientele because he doesn't want any BS excuse makers as clients. It just doesn't work when you're playing at that high level. But if I pay his butt that amount, guess what I will do? Just wild guess. If I pay his butt the $1,200 to $1,500 a month that he is ultimately going to command for his services to coach me 3 times a week in the gym and work out with me and my diet plan and everything else, what am I going to actually do?
You're going to do it.
I'm going to show up. and I'm going to hate every single moment of it. I will like the benefit, but I guarantee you I will not enjoy the process. Okay. But I will enjoy the result. I'll drop about 35, 40 pounds. I'll be in the best shape I've been since I got out of basic training in the Army. My diet will be great. My energy level will be exactly where I need it to be. But if I don't do this, what's the alternative? Early death. Okay, I'm at an age where you can't screw around with this type of stuff. Now I can continue to coast if I want. And then one day I'm going to bend over to pick up something and I'm going to break a bone or I'm going to pull a muscle or something because my muscles are all tight and they're not worked out. And it's just a fact of age. And I could sit back and blame, oh, I got time. I got time. One of these days. Okay. Now, one other thing, and then I'm going to open it up for Q&A because I gave away some serious gold nuggets. This is what I personally go through. This is what Dave Vanny put my butt through and continues to put my butt through now every week because he's now my mentor again because he's the only one that actually has the guts to tell me exactly what I need to hear, not what I want to hear, and he doesn't take my excuses. Okay? And if I give him an excuse, he just hangs up on me. You know, like he doesn't care. You know? At the end of the day, he wants what's best for me, and he knows how to get under my skin. But here's the point. Take everything I've talked to, and Gene, I want you to give every single person here, put it in the chat window so that way the people that are here on the live call get rewarded instantly, okay, is I want you to put the quarterly, we have the quarterly business review, okay? When you share the Google Doc link or share the actual file so they can download it. It's what every single one of my one-on-one clients are getting this week. Okay. It is an exclusive questionnaire. I want you to use it and plan out your own deal. Give them also the life plan commitments worksheet that goes with that document. Okay. And I'm going to reward you guys for being here. Okay. And Gene, unless anybody on the recording, okay, or listening to this on Facebook, unless they actually do a 10 to 15-minute call with me, they do not get the worksheet or the life plan commitments worksheet. That is very expensive documents, and everybody here live today gets it because it's a reward for being here. So high five. Okay, but go through that quarterly planning worksheet, life plan commitments worksheet, set your goals, reset. So all my clients are going to go through the next 2 weeks. Where are we at for the year? And this is the only time of the year we adjust the annual goal. The only time. Okay. And then we lay out the plan on how we're going to make it through the summer. Oh, the other thing to give them, Gene, give them this series Dog Days of Summer by Darren Hardy. Okay. Because we're going into summer and there's a very specific way to structure your day and your week, which will give you a maximum return on investment for your summer. Because all of us go into the summer, it's not you, it's part of life. Okay. So hey, Gene, you just let another Carla Parvin in. Parvin. There's two of them in here and they're not on video. So keep an eye on that. There she is. Okay. No worries. We've had spam, we've had people come from other countries and not be on video. It's totally fine. You don't have to be on video. And all of a sudden they drop all kinds of stupid stuff in here. So we got some PTSD from that. So glad to hear that you're here. But those documents, this is the time of the year you want to look at your year. Okay. And the more honest you are with yourself, okay, the better it's going to be up for you for July, August, and September. Okay. This is the time. Another thing that Gene's working on and the team's working on is we're going to have an in-person workshop, a massive in-person workshop here in Knoxville It's either going to be towards the end of August or it's going to be right after Labor Day, called The Kids Are Back in School, Time to Get Back to Work. Happens every year, and it's a kickoff for the end of the year sprint. Okay, I'm going to lay it out September, October, November, what you have to do to really finish the year strong so you can actually have some good, decent time off in December. Okay, and we're going to streamline that as well. But I wanted you guys to get the most value out of today's call. Okay, I want you guys to be able to walk away today hopefully challenged and hopefully understanding that today is the first day of the rest of your life. And if you scored at a 2 based off the exercise we did, don't beat yourself up. Draw a line, man. Like, you're alive. Okay, you can't go back and change the past. Tomorrow's not even here yet. The only thing you can do is just forgive yourself, draw a line, say from this point forward, this is the one thing I'm going to focus on. For me, the only thing I'm going to focus on is get my dang health right. Okay, because I don't want to start having health problems and having you can have all the success you want, but if you're not around to live and enjoy it, what difference does it make? Can't take any of it with us, but I'm sure my wife wants me around for a while. Okay, and so with that said, anybody have any questions that they would like to ask, clarification on what we've talked about, before we go open it up to just generalized questions? All right. So anybody have any specific question? Now you're muted. So if you're trying to talk, you're muted. You got to unmute yourself. Okay. Anybody have any specific questions about their business that they would like to run by a mastermind on this call today? Go ahead, Rita.
Okay, so I'm following your POI and your the other one. So I met a bunch of people, Powerbase, recently at a speed networking event, and I'm saying to them, of course, let's have a 10 to 15-minute call, see who in my database can benefit from your services and vice versa. Here's my question for you. I have an accountant and I love her. I would refer her over everybody else. She's also in the mastermind group with me, with us. So when I meet a new accountant, how do I then refer them people out of my database?
So,
or any other profession, like someone I already have?
so some of you already have as a client is an accountant or a bookkeeper, right? And now you meet another bookkeeper and accountant, right? And you really like them and you really resonate with them and they want to do a reciprocal referral relationship with you. So how do you refer them, right? Okay. First of all, you bring them all three together. Okay. Classic example. Catherine Stelflip. Okay. My go-to financial planner. Okay. Out here on the East Coast. Okay. And I get approached by financial planners all the time. Okay. But Catherine is my go-to financial planner with all the experience. Am I going to run into other financial planners? Yes. But what I am going to do is I'm going to show courtesy and respect where respect is due. Is I'm going to bring Catherine and them on a Zoom call together and we'll say, hey, I like both of you. Okay. Out of 8.279 billion people on the planet, there's plenty of business to go around here. Okay. Let's all have a conversation here and talk about how we can go after clients, together. And I want to make sure the two of them like it. Now, Catherine's in first position. And if this other person doesn't want to play ball, guess what? I'll coach them. I'll mentor them. Okay. On just a strategy session, I will not take them on as a client. Okay. And that's just, it becomes too confusing because of the level of coaching and consulting that I do.
Right.
In your world, where you're doing funnels, it's a different ballgame. It's not like you're sitting there mentoring them on a regular basis. Go ahead.
That's an excellent answer. My question was, when we get together and say, who in my database can I refer to you?
Mhm.
I would always refer to my own accountant. She can work with anybody anywhere. So how do I then start referring? Here, it's the 10 to 15-minute call. It's let's see who we can refer to each other. And I don't know how I could refer accounting clients to 2 or 3 other accountants in a 10 to 15-minute call when I really only want to refer them to my accountant.
Now I understand your answer. Okay.
Thank you. That was a great answer, by the way. I love it.
Thank you. Now here's the question. Okay, here's the rub, right? And this is perfect, Gene. Okay. So I've got a person that claims they want to be a POI of mine. Okay. We have a call. We have a friendship meeting. We decide, hey, I'm going to refer you 3 people. You're going to refer me 3 people. I always start with 3. Okay. And Gene and I just had Gene and Shira had a call with somebody that wants to do that with me this morning. Okay. And that person has to give me 3 referrals, and I'm going to give them 3 referrals this week. And next Monday, we will be doing a follow-up meeting to that. What will determine whether they're going to continue to be a referral partner of mine is if they do what the heck they say they're going to do. Okay. Because at the end of the day, I may have a great referral partner, but don't make this mistake. Okay. Familiarity brings contempt. Okay. And lack of accountability creates laziness in a relationship. And at the end of the day, I'm going to measure the result. Okay. I have my 4 POIs locked in. I have a call set up every Friday. It's with a different POI. Okay. And when I show up to that meeting, I'm going to go over what I referred them over the last 30 days. And they're going to go over what they referred me over the last 30 days. And if they didn't refer me anything, we are going to have a very candid conversation. And be like, hey, and I would have the same now, this is my personality. It doesn't fit everybody. Okay. Even if my grandmother was the referral partner, I would have this same conversation with her. And I go, listen, I like you and we can be friends. Got no issues with that. But over the last 30 days, you didn't refer me a single person, and I referred you 5 people. So let's talk about the elephant in the room here. Okay. How are we going to fix that? And depends on their attitude and where they're coming from will determine if they get to continue to be my referral partner. I don't just stay with somebody because I like them. We are in business. Okay. I can separate personal from business. I'm not in a nonprofit charity here. Okay. I'm in a business to make money. If I don't make money, I can't support my staff. If I can't support my staff, staff can't support other people. If I don't support other people, I can't change the world. Okay. I can't impact and hit the goals that I want to achieve. So when I'm talking about referral partners, it's very specific. Numbers do not lie. Okay. I meet with you. We have an agreement to be referral partners. Show me the referrals you gave me over the last 30 days. I'm going to show you the referrals I gave you over the last 30 days. Let's talk about them. I just did this with Buzz. Okay. Michael Bazinski is a referral partner of mine. He is a POI. Okay. That's who I met with on Friday, right, Gene? And so we've been a referral partner now for 4 months. I referred him 7 referrals last month, and he got 2 new clients out of it. Okay. I looked at the referrals he gave me. He kind of got lax on that. Okay. Wasn't a focus. So he and I had a reset conversation. It's like, hey, can't go back and change the past. All we can do is focus on the future. What are you going for over the next 30 days? What am I going over the next 30 days? Here's what I need from you. Between now and next Friday, I need 3 solid referrals. Here's who they are. Okay. I need you to let me know who they are. I'm going to have Gene draft an email and a text message intro that all you got to do is copy and paste. But by next Friday, I should have 3 referrals from you. Okay. I will have 3 referrals for you by next Friday. We already identified who they are. They've already gone out. But if Buzz does not give me 3 referrals by next Friday, I will be having a call with him going, hey, we're still going to be friends. rah, 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 but I am going to find somebody else to refer this type of business to. Nothing against you. I'll still be your buddy, okay, your friend. But I only need 4 POIs to build a multi-million-dollar company. And I don't have time to waste. That 30 to 45 minutes we're going to spend once a month needs to produce fruit. If it does not produce fruit, I will find somebody else to produce fruit with. And that's where you have to have a good, solid referral network. So Catherine's my financial planner, right? She's my go-to financial planner. Okay. Catherine and I are just starting to hit a stride on this referral thing. Okay. But at the end of the day, Catherine's at networking event meetings. I'm at networking event meetings. I have a database. Catherine has a database. Okay. And I coach Catherine in her business. Okay. And we meet weekly regardless. But I guarantee you, if we don't have a separate POI meeting, neither one of us are going to refer each other, even though we talk every week. But the fact that we have ours is actually this Friday. Okay. So her and I are getting together this Friday. Both of us will walk away from that 30 to 45-minute Zoom call with 5 to 7 referrals. And they're not just going to be, oh, call this person and tell him I referred you. That is not the referral I'm talking about. Okay. Referral I'm talking about is we're going to identify Gene will be on that call, Shira will be on that call, because I'm not going to do the work. They're going to do the work. Okay. I'm just going to be on the phone. And we're going to identify 5, at least 3 in my database that I'm going to pick up the phone. Now watch this. This is going to change a lot of you guys' life on this referral thing. Jane Knight, right? She's got tons of people in her database. Nancy's got a ton of people in her database. Michael's got tons of people in his database. Catherine, Beth, okay, Rita, you all have tons of people in your database. Wouldn't you like an excuse to call them? So all Catherine's going to do this Friday is give me an excuse to call 5 to 7 people I like that I haven't talked to in a while. And I'm going to call them up and I'm like, listen, man, let's see, it'd be a good referral for her, Gene, would be, and if we haven't, I know I've referred her, but now it gives me another excuse to put a bug up his butt, okay, is Greg Harper, Star Care Power Wash. Okay, put that down. I'm gonna demonstrate exactly what's gonna happen right now. I'm gonna call Greg up because now Catherine just gave me an excuse to call Greg. I'm gonna call Greg up and like, what's up, dude? I haven't talked to Greg in a year. He's a client of mine for over a year. Like his business was losing a tremendous amount of money, and I turned the whole dang thing around with almost a 300% growth in 1 year. And we're not talking a small company. We're talking a company that was in the millions. Okay. And so I've got a lot of good currency with the dude. But now I got an excuse to call him. Versus, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? How's the family? How's the weather? Okay, it was nice talking to you. Total waste of time. Okay. But now I get to call him up and go, Greg, what's up? He's going, what's going on, dude? How you doing? I'm going to catch up with him. How's your wife? How's the business? How's your kids? Etc. Hey, the reason for the call. Okay, I was talking to my go-to. She's now, you know what, Greg? She's my new financial planner. Okay, had lots of financial planners over the years, but I've worked with this lady now in her own business for 4 months, and I like her better than anybody right now. Okay, she'll actually, not let me get away with crap. Okay, not only that, but she's good at what she does. She knows her stuff. She can lay out a plan. She's going to she met with my wife and I. I'm the biggest bottleneck right now because I'm not getting her all the crap that she's asking me to get her. Okay. She's going to have to sick my wife on me or Gene to get all that stuff. But I was thinking about you because her and I were talking about, she told me, she says, hey, who do you know, like, and trust that you really care about that I might be able to impact their lives with a better financial plan? And I told her, Greg, I'm like, I thought of you, dude. So here's what I need you to do. Are you okay with it? I mean, you probably already have your financial plan, but here's the deal. I want you to talk to her Okay. Do me a huge favor. Okay. Talk to her, meet with her, go through her stuff. Okay. If you buy, great. If you don't, that's up to you. That's between the two of you. But I would really love your help, helping me better my relationship with Catherine on how and who I can refer. Would you be willing to take her call? Would you be willing to return her email? He's going to say yes. Okay. I'm going to have Gene, or I could do it myself. I'm going to draft an email introduction between Catherine and Greg Harper. Okay. I'm going to call Catherine, let her know, hey, I talked to Greg. Here's what Greg's business is. He said he wants to meet with you. Please do me a favor, Catherine. Send me an email that I can just copy and paste as an email introduction on how you want me to tee you up. And she's going to do that. Also, send me a 2-sentence text message that I can back it up with. Okay. So Catherine's going to do that. Jean's going to get Catherine's email along with the email and the text message. She's going to send Greg Harper an email introduction. It'll be Greg, me, and Catherine on the same email. Okay. Then Jean's going to go into, she's going to text me the text script, and she's going to say, hey, copy and paste this and do a text message introduction to Catherine and Greg Harper. And I'm just going to copy and paste. Now Catherine and Greg have each other's cell number, which gets read 100% of the time. And it's all directing them to the email I just sent them. Okay. Catherine has been teed up the best that she can possibly be teed up with that contact. Now, the one thing I did not mention, you want a new client this week. How many of you would like a brand new client this week? Just a few of you. Okay, got it. All right. So here's how you get a new client this week. Find somebody you can refer to a referral partner, because while I have Greg on the phone, and Greg has already agreed to let me introduce Catherine, and we're singing Kumbaya, and we're happy again. Hey, Greg, by the way, what's up, man? How's business, dude? Oh, John, it's this, and this. Really, what's the biggest challenge you have right now, man? How can I help you? And all roads potentially could lead to Greg giving me a referral or me doing a new strategy session with him and getting caught up and getting paid. You want to know the secret to sales? The second sale is always the easiest. It is easier to sell to an existing or past client than it is to a brand new client. You want a new client this week? Call all your past clients and say, hey, I was thinking about you. I was on this show called the Business Doctor Show. Okay, the dude gave me this idea. He told me to blame me. He told me to make a list of all the 10 past clients that I absolutely enjoyed that I would like to talk to again. And you're on that list. What's going on? How are you doing? How's the family? How's business? How can I help you? That's all I'm going to say to Greg. Okay. I have an excuse to call him to get him to be introduced to Catherine. While I got him on the phone, if you're old enough to remember, I'm doing a Columbo approach here. Oh, by the way, while you're on the phone, catch me up. I love it because every time I call him, his business has grown about 20% because he's still using the same damn strategies I installed. You know? And so catch up with your old clients. It's easier to resell them than it is to go find a new one. But you know what? Greg might say, nah, man, we're good right now. Everything is great. I'll be like, good. You know what? I'm really looking over the next couple of weeks to bring in another client just like you, man. Who do you know? Who can I refer you? See, we don't have to make cold calls here. Okay. Rita's question opens up the Pandora's box to so many opportunities. It's insane because at the end of the day, your referral partner gets educated that you're serious. Number one, they either play ball or you will find somebody else to replace them with. Okay. And you only need 4. Okay. So, and you're the one that now has the knowledge, by the way. teach this to your referral partners. Okay. Take this recording because you're here and you got invited here. The moment I hang up, you're going to get a copy of this. Well, you're not, because this is not on my Fathom, but you'll be able to go to my YouTube channel, John.Pyron on YouTube. Okay. It's being streamed live. Go watch the replay. Okay. And share it with your referral partner. Go, hey, I want to do this with you. I want to have this in place. Because Gene can attest to this, Shira can attest to this. The reason I'm having to do what I'm doing right now is because I got too much opportunity. There is such a thing, by the way. I have too many referrals, too many leads, too many of this, and not enough John Pyron to go around. Which is why I'm grooming all kinds of other little mini John Pyrons. Okay? So have that problem. You only need 4 POIs. Okay? And if your POI does not want to give, don't keep the relationship if it's not producing a result. They can still be friends. I'm still friends with Ryan Stone. Ryan Stone's a good friend of mine. He and I referred business every single month. We had our POI meeting every single month, both of us, 4 to 5 referrals every single month. And then we got lazy. Both of us did. And then I moved out here. Yeah. And then I got lazy. And, right now, not on this call, but I already have somebody out here on the East Coast that does what Ryan does. And so I'm like, I don't want to work Pacific time zone hours, man. Rita is my new Ryan Stone out here on the East Coast. I still like Ryan, but I'm not going to make any point to give him referrals. I don't want to go back to California. I am not a fan of the going back to Cali. That's not my jam no more. Okay. I like being out here in Tennessee. It's a whole different country. Okay? I don't want to go back there. Okay. So now Rita is my new POI in that space. And if Rita refers me and I continue to refer her, Rita and I will continue to meet every month. But if I'm showing up to that meeting and I'm not giving Rita any referrals, should Rita continue to show up? No. Rita should go find another business coach. It's just reality, man. Numbers don't lie. Michael can attest to this. Michael owns CS United Associates. He's been a client of mine going on 4 years. Okay. And if you have not had a second opinion about your taxes, he's the dude. Okay. Click on the QR code there. Get on his calendar. Okay. I value the guy so much that I signed up a new client who was a mess. Okay. And I'm like, you have never had a 3-year look back on your returns. And everything I asked him, it was like, you have overpaid your taxes. Hands down, I already know. And how do you know if you've overpaid your taxes? Very simple. If you have an entity here, okay, if you are in business and you do not write yourself in a check using the Augusta rule in the memo section, you do not have a tax strategy. You have a tax preparer. Okay. And you now have 3 open years for Michael to go back and give a second opinion about how those things were filed. And in this case, this dude, I said, listen, you sign up with me, you become a client of mine, I will pay Michael, okay, to do the 3-year look back and go get you some more money. Where do I sign? See, I use my relationship with my POI to close that deal. Okay. I can easily go, hey, you want to be my client? No problem. Tell you what. You sign up right now, and I'm going to pay Rita to come in and do a complete evaluation of your entire funnel from top to bottom. And I'm going to have her re-engineer the whole dang thing where you don't have to do it no more. Sign here. That's a cool thing about having POIs is you're going after the same client. Now I can't do that. I could do that with Catherine and say, hey man, I'll pay Catherine. Now I'm not going to pay her anything because she can't legally accept it, but I can take her to lunch, you know? And so find angles, right? Now I've dropped a lot of golden nuggets here. And I did it on purpose to overwhelm the living crap out of you. On purpose. Because for the next week to 2 weeks, I want you to be in planning mode. Okay? The worst thing you could do off of this meeting is beat yourself up. You did everything that you did up to this point in this year, and the results are what they are. You cannot go back and change them. All you can do is draw a line and go from this moment forward. I'm going to plan out a new year. Jean's going to give you the quarterly business review template. Okay. She's going to also give you the life plan commitments worksheet and the Dog Days of Summer video series. And I would highly recommend for the next 2 weeks, half hour here, half hour there, hour here, hour there. Okay. If you want an actual system, I've got an hour block in my calendar every single day for the next 2 weeks, and 30 minutes of that hour is on this exercise because I got my own dang business I got to run. Then I'm going to revisit the Dog Days of Summer this coming Friday, and I'm going to adjust my summer calendar based on that. And as a result, I'm going to go into July. Every single one of you can do the same thing. I'm going to go into July knowing exactly what I'm going to do in July, August, and September. And I'm not going to focus on any other time span other than those next 3 months. But I'm going to go in there armed and dangerous while all my competitors are going into summer vacation mode. And I'm going to go crush them and take as much market share away from them as I possibly can. Okay? Because I'm going to be armed and dangerous. And if you do what I'm talking about and you don't have any issues with exposing yourself, show up to the call next Monday, tell me what you got, and I'll coach you through it. If you're on this live call or you're listening to the recording and you really want to deep dive into this, I'm going to take on probably 3 to 4 strategy sessions every single week for the next 4 weeks leading up to my 2-week disappearance. Okay. I'm going to slam my team with more business than they can possibly even handle. I'm going to laugh my butt off when they are so overwhelmed trying to figure it all out, and then they can't get a hold of me. Okay. Because I have enough confidence in Beth at Biloxi that she knows what she's doing with her ex-military background, and she can manage all the chaos. And so if you want a strategy session with me, okay, and you haven't done one in a while, this would definitely be the time of the year to do it. Okay. And so same thing as last time, I'll give you the half off deal. Okay. Guarantee it. And there you go. Except this time it's going to be 10 times better because I've done probably another 100 of them since we last talked. So, and if you want to make money between now and the end of July, every single person you refer me that does a strategy session with me, and all they do is a strategy session, you will get 25% of that strategy session fee, and that strategy session fee will range from $750 to $3,000 depending on the size of the business. And if they become a client, then you're going to get 10% of whatever that contract value is, which at minimum will be $1,200, and on average will be about $2,000. Okay, so if you want to make some money, there you go. Just refer people to me and let me slam my team with new business. Okay, and it's going to happen regardless. So I'd rather fill up my calendar with referrals from you versus filling them up with my own POI network. Okay, so come up with the same thing for yourself. Everything I gave you here, you all can do. Okay. And if you need clarity on it, like I said, book a call. All right. Any questions? Nope. Okay. Be blessed.